Another question is, how do I get a contract job in London quickly? Well, firstly, you need to ensure that you know your identity. You need to be able to establish your personal brand. What do we mean by that? You need to be able to talk about who you are, the skills and experience you have, and personalise this with your core competencies. Once you're able to establish your personal brand on your CV, you need to be able to effectively market that CV. I would recommend that you use some kind of marketing organisation that can target likely clients, customers to send your CV to. Particularly in Byte, we do this. It doesn't have to be Byte, but I would suggest to you that you find someone to help you. Additionally, you can take control of this by using a good CRM database and researching out possible clients, future clients, and sending your CV to them through good research. Now, with the days of the internet, it's very, very easy to look up company names. It's also pretty easy to look up agencies and establish those agencies, organisations that are working in your core sector. They're going to be interested in you if you're an interesting person and a good communicator, and you're up to date and you're enthusiastic. You have to know how to attack the hidden job market or the unadvertised job market, particularly for contracts. In the permanent market, the majority of jobs are advertised because of equal opportunities. However, in the contract market, particularly the contract IT market, you'll find that a large majority of jobs are never advertised. This means to access this hidden job market, you have to be known, and that often really involves applying for jobs that you know you're not going to get. You have to know that you're a reasonable fit, so you don't look foolish, but in doing so, you have to recognise you're playing a bit of a game and be convincing. Adopt the three-tiered approach. At Byte, we really summarise the three-tiered approach as, firstly, applying for jobs that you're about a 90% fit for. These jobs you have a real chance of getting, but there won't be many of them, and you have to play the numbers game. Therefore, you've got to apply for jobs where you're a 60% fit. And that 60% fit means that probably you won't get those jobs. But if you do a good job in applying for those jobs and playing the game, you're likely to impress people. And then when a job comes along that's nearer to your skill set and probably close to that 90% fit, they're going to ring you first before others apply for that role. Often before they ever advertise, if they ever advertise that role. And the third tier is networking. You have to get yourself out there on all the boards, and you have to really make sure that people see you. You have to use LinkedIn, Google+, Twitter, set up a Facebook page, and really let people know you're out there and keep them informed. If you're to establish an effective network, you have to play the numbers game. So you must get out to large numbers of people. So volume is very important. And in reality, you've got to expect to have at least 155 meaningful contacts. That can then be your starting point. And as you progress your career, develop that to 300 plus. And then as a long-term contractor, you really should have about 500 meaningful contacts. Certainly on LinkedIn, you should be a 500 plus candidate. Next, you need to know how to really sell your personal brand. If you like, you have to talk the talk. You don't have to be a top salesman. You just need to communicate clearly. You have to identify the key message you want to get across and be quite single-minded about communicating that in phone calls and any communication, backing it up even in emails so that the people really do understand what you offer. You need to add value to organisations, and doing that starts with being very clear about what you offer people. My final point would be that you need to be good at interviewing. Now that doesn't mean you're a natural. What it means is you learn the process and you prepare. You identify to the best possible point that you can what your potential client actually wants. You've then got to recognise how you can communicate how you fit and fulfil their needs. If you do that effectively, that will mean talking about your USP and identifying your key skills relevant to the role. But you need to also be able to talk about your background and experience very concisely. And by doing a plan, you'll prepare well. And if put under pressure, you'll find you'll be able to answer the questions without experiencing too much stress. These tips are very relevant to IT contracting jobs and applying for IT contract jobs as a contractor in the London marketplace, and also to any kind of interim consultancy work, particularly things like project management or interim management.